My 21-year-old son died in a car accident, and when my husband, his father, heard the news, he collapsed on the floor and died of a heart attack. I lost my whole family in one day. A few days before their joint funeral, my son's 20-year-old girlfriend reached out to me. She asked if she could visit. She sounded so nervous that I told her to come over immediately. I had never met her before, but my son had planned to introduce her to us this Christmas. When she arrived, she looked terrified, young, fragile, and heartbroken. She sat in my living room, and after a long pause, she finally spoke. She said she is 3 months pregnant for my son. But before I could even process that joy, she kept talking. She said now that my son is gone, she doesn't want to keep it anymore. She said she's too young to raise a child alone. She wants to go back to school. She wants a fresh start. But all I could think was, that baby is the last piece of my son I have left. I held her hands calmly and begged her to keep the baby. I told her I would support her financially, emotionally, in every way. I told her I would raise the child with her, that she wouldn't be alone, that she wouldn't carry all the burden. My son was my only child. Now he's gone. My husband is gone. I have no one else in this world. I don't want to lose the last part of my son. She said she doesn't want to raise a child out of guilt or obligation or pressure. After she left my house that day, I sat alone on the couch for hours, just staring at the door she walked out of. I didn't know whether to cry from hope or break down from fear. That evening, I picked up a blanket and walked into my son's room. I lay on his bed and hugged his pillow until I fell asleep. I kept hoping I would dream of him. Maybe he would tell me what to do. But all I heard in my sleep was his girlfriend's voice. I don't want the baby. The next morning, I woke up determined to try again. So I called her and asked if we could talk. She hesitated before answering. Okay, but only for a few minutes. She came over again, wearing the same sadness on her face. She looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept either. This time she spoke first. She said she was sorry for how blunt she sounded the first time, that she truly cared about my son, and losing him shattered her too. But every time she thought about raising a child alone, she felt panic. She said she didn't want her whole life to revolve around grief. She said she's scared of becoming attached to the baby, knowing the father will never be here. I understood that, more than she realized, because every day that passed, I felt myself getting more attached to a child who wasn't even born yet. She continued talking, her voice shaking, and she confessed another fear. She said she doesn't want people to judge her. A 20-year-old single mother with no husband and no help. I took a deep breath before responding. I told her I respected her honesty. I told her I wasn't there to force her or overwhelm her. I told her I simply wanted her to understand what this child meant to me. I told her, this baby is the last part of my son that will ever walk this earth. Her eyes filled with tears immediately. She looked down, wiping her face quietly. I explained that I didn't expect her to give up her dreams. I didn't expect her to put her life on hold. I didn't even expect her to raise the child if she didn't want to. All I asked was that she consider letting me raise the baby, or at least carry the pregnancy safely until she was ready to make a final decision. I promised her this would not ruin her future. I promised her she would still have her life, her studies, her freedom. I promised her I would protect her from any pressure or judgment. And then, I said the words that came straight from the deepest part of my soul. You are not doing this for me. You are doing it for the child you two created, and for the man you loved. She cried harder when she heard that, but she didn't say yes. She didn't say no either. She just said, I need time to think, and then she left. That was 2 days ago. I have not stopped replaying our conversations in my head. I don't know what she will decide. I don't know if she will come back. I don't know if she will choose to keep this last piece of my son alive. All I know is that I am trying to be gentle, loving, and respectful, even though I am breaking inside. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to pressure her. but I don't want to let my grandchild disappear before they get a chance to live. So I'm stuck in the middle, between hope and heartbreak. And I'm asking, if you were in my shoes, if this was your only grandchild, your only family, your last connection to your son, would you keep fighting? Or would you step back and let her choose alone? I truly need help.